Welcome to IFERP, a forum where innovations and research interest could be supported and developed, prioritizing our mutual interest. In this video, we want you to dive into our world, giving yourself a clear insight into IFERP. But first, who are we and what do we do? Institute for Engineering Research and Publication, IFERP for short, is one of the world's largest non-profitable professional associations operating under the Techno-Elite Research and Development Association, TRADA, meant for research and development in the field of engineering, science and technology. We are one of the largest professional bodies for engineering professionals in India and across the globe, established in 2014. We extend to every part of the globe, with more than 28,000 professional members and 34,000 student members. Our growing membership at IFERP has led to an increase in members from Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa and the USA, fostering networking opportunities that strengthen ties within and across countries and technical communities. The mission of IFERP is to connect professionals at an integrated platform for growth to divert knowledge and skills towards the sustainable application of professional education and more. And our vision of digitalizing innovation processes through our professional networking services and more has pushed us forward to our achievements today. With our mission to make our academic services reach the top and grassroots level of institutions, we are funding colleges to organize conferences and scientific events, enabling researchers incubated at different areas of our country to directly contribute towards the transformation of India. IFERP simply connects engineers, exchange global innovation, and acts as a bridge between researchers and academics by organizing international conferences, world conferences, faculty development programs, webinars, seminars, providing membership, and more. Some of our conferences include WCASET Malaysia, WCASET Jakarta, ICAS ETAM APU Malaysia, and many more. We've also organised scientific events in association with renowned universities done in the past, with over 28,593 journal publication services, creating opportunities to get your research paper published in high impact factor journals such as Scopus Indexed, Web of Science, Google Scholar Index journals, ESCI, UGC approved, L Compandax, ISI, SCImago Index journals, and many more. To make our operations smoother and more perfect, we have been supported by our associated organisation, Association of Cloud Technologists, Global Association of Nanotechnology, International Association for Big Data Analysts, International Association for IoT, International Wireless Network Association, and World Association for Structural Engineers. We have also worked alongside several clients and partners both nationally and internationally like University Malaysia Sabah, APU Malaysia, UNJ Jakarta, MC University Thailand, Ajman University Dubai, PUP Philippines, IIUM Malaysia, ISU Philippines, FCPC Philippines, WCC Philippines SRM University, Galgotia University, Amity University, and much more government and private organisations in different countries. At IFERP, we believe that there's always a better way to treat professionals, and that is what we do. If you would like to see more or go deeper on IFERP, you can visit our website at www.iferp.in. Welcome to IFERP, a forum where innovations and research interest could be supported and developed, prioritizing our mutual interest. In this video, we want you to dive into our world, giving yourself a clear insight into IFERP. But first, who are we and what do we do? Institute for Engineering
Publication, Institute of Engineering Research and Publication, and our academic partner, United Innovators. Week 2, and we'll be discussing metrics in Scopus about citation, H-index, SCImago journal ranking. And today we are being joined here by Dr. Bajrang Prasad Mishra. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Getting. Very getting. I'm getting you, ma'am. Getting you, ma'am.
Can you?
Madam, I'm getting you. I'm getting you. Yeah. Perfectly getting. So now, ma'am, go ahead, ma'am. Madam, may I go ahead? Hello. Hello. Are you getting me, ma'am?
Hello,
Are you?
everyone. Welcome back. Sorry
Okay, ma'am.
about the tech.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Now I'm able to listen you. I'm able to listen you. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Issues.
Madam, your voice is
So
breaking. It is breaking.
today we will be discussing. He is associate professor from Department of Electronics and Communication, JSSAT, Noida, India. So before we begin, let me give you a short introduction about Sir. His professional career started in Indian Air Force. Ministry of Defence, Government of India, and rendered 20 years of distinguished technical services to the nation as a senior maintenance officer in various capacities, from soft computing related to noise signal processing. Dr. B.P. Mishra, who is ex-IAF, is also a member of IEEE and life member of ISTE Society, and has attended various seminars based on speech and signal processing in So you may begin.
Well, participants, first of all, a very good evening to all of you. Madam has given my introduction just now, and I am here to for knowledge sharing on journal publications. Okay. Now, first of all, we all academicians, we are here in order to make our academic standards. We are to go into the research. That's mandatory. And after doing our academic careers, whether it is BTech, MTech, or PhDs, we ought to publish our papers. And papers, standard papers. Yes. So I will tell you, for the participants, that how to choose a journal and publish an article. So choosing a journal and publishing an article. First of all, this overview I will be telling, and after this overview, the most important part is I will be going for different metrics. Metrics, what are the parameters? Parameters of a journal. So these parameters of a journal, that is whether it is journal metrics or it is Scopus metrics or it is citation metrics. So these three metrics I will be covering after this my slides. Okay. So overview, if you say deciding what or when to publish, most important. Number second, identifying a target journal. How to a journal we should identify what are those parameters. I'll be coming myself after telling some introduction regarding this. We have to follow the journal's instructions. Submitting the paper, where to submit, what is H-index, what is SNIP, all these impact factors of journals that I will be discussing today. Also understanding the decision process, how a paper is getting selected, it is being published. Yes, revising the paper, we are forwarding a paper, but revisions without, if it is of ultimate standard, it will be published. Otherwise, we go for revisions. Answering queries of editors, but for answers queries is to be answered. And reviewing proof, how to review proof. Now, first point what I told you, deciding what or when to publish. Some factors are to be considered: the quality of work, extent, etc., interest to others. That has to be seen first. Now, my suggestions in this area, to seek guidance from others in the field who are more experienced in publishing journal articles. Maybe your senior colleague, maybe your faculty professor, your senior professor. And number two, you should present your work orally first before going for publishing. Because what is being published? Published is whatever work you have done. And if it is a quality work, definitely it will be published. So those will help in deciding whether work is your publishable and in a shaping the paper before it gets published into a reputed journal. Yeah. Now, how to identify a target journal? Which journal you have to go for? You have to decide very early before drafting your research paper. Please do not write on paper and look for a journal. You have to look for journals that have published work similar to yours. Means whatever you are going to publish, whatever you want to publish, that you must see where it is published, which topics have been published. So in those journals, that should be your target journal, and you should identify those journals, make a list of those journals. So consider those journals that you will cite. Next, what are the factors to be considered? The factors to be considered, that is audience, who are going to see. For example, before publishing paper, it has to go into a conference proceedings, and proceedings after proceedings, IEEE if you go, and that is Scopus, Elsevier if you go, that is which audience is there, what is the prestige of it, what is the access, what is the impact factor, I will come later on, how to decide it, then publication timings, quality of reproduction, and its likelihood, that is the probability of its acceptance. Now, journals instructions to the authors. Usual locations in the journals and or journals website. A collection of instructions from biomedical journals. For example, if you go for, I've taken a part. For example, I've given for biomedical journals. It is for electronics, that is electrical, mechanical, civil, whichever field you are having, that instructions, you should go for it. Now, whatever journal instructions are there, read instructions to the authors before starting to do their paper. I'm telling to those authors who are going to write, who are going to publish papers, and quality work should be published. Yes, consult your instructions by preparing the papers. Check the instructions before it is being submitted. Now, various questions are there which the instructions itself may answer. If you read the instructions properly, then you will get the answer. For example, what categories of article do they publish? If you know the answer of these questions, definitely it will help you in getting the right journal to be published. What is the maximum length of the articles? What is the maximum length of the abstracts? Does journal have it for articles? If so, how it can be accessed? What sections should the article include, and what are the guidelines? So all these instructions that may be answered. Further, in continuation, what guidelines should be followed regarding writing styles or how many figures and tables are allowed? What are the requirements for them? In what format should references appear? Or is there a maximum number of references? In what electronic format should the paper be prepared? Now, next, what guidelines should be followed regarding writing styles? And in how many figures and tables allowed? What are the requirements for them? In what format should references appear? There's a reference section at the last, which you see in the paper. Which format? Because they are writing in a different format, then your paper is liable to be rejected because proper format needs to be followed. Is there a maximum number of references? In what electronic format should the paper be prepared? Now, beyond instructions, if you go, we have to look at some recent issues of the journals. Doing so can help you gear up your paper in a reputed journal. Now, very important, IMRAD format for scientific papers. What is this IMRAD? IMRAD, first any paper has an introduction. So, what was the question? For example, if you see a paper, introductory part, number 1, I. M stands for methods. How did you try to answer it? Methods of that one. R, results. What did you find? A, and discussion, what does it mean? So these parameters, if you see this format, IMRAD, for any scientific papers, I will come to it, what are, how we have to approach, how we have to go in these scientific papers. But IMRAD format is followed in all the papers, okay, including scientific papers. Okay, more complete view, if you see, then title should be there, author should be there, abstract, followed by IMRAD, what I told you previously, introduction, methods, and result discussion, acknowledgements, and references. Now, structure. IMRAD structure. It is like a hourglass. Introduction starts by taking broadly about your own topics and then narrows down to research. Means whatever topic a broad overview it starts. For example, if I start my DSP, my favorite that is signal processing. Okay. Now it is a wide field of that is if you go in electronics and if you come narrow down, it is used in various control systems processes. And when you go narrower, then if you come to, for example, speech, that is speech recognition, the parameters. So out of 27 parameters, the 3 most important parameters, the search parameter, that is the MFCC, mel frequency shifting coefficient, LPC, linear predictive coding, RCP, that is reflection shifting parameters. This is at the top research level which is going on. So that is what the first point I want to tell here, that it starts by taking broadly about your topic and then narrows down to your research. Methods, narrow, focuses on your research. And what are the results? Narrow, again, focuses on the research and discussion starts narrow with your own research and then broadens to discuss other research and their wider applications. Submitting, how submitting the paper, please. Traditional submission by mail. Now, there you can go for electronic submission, commonly via that is online submission, sometimes email attachment. Inclusion of a cover letter, very important. That is features, parameters of inclusion of a cover letter that you ought to see very thoroughly, and then completion of the platform. What are the categories of editors at journals? Now, various editors have been categorized at journals. Now, this is very helpful to know because you might interact with each one of them. But main category you should know. There are 3 main, which are you are seeing here: editor-in-chief, managing editors, and manuscript editors. Editor-in-chief, sometimes also associate editors. They are concerned mainly with the content of the journal, which is going to publish more content. Managing editor, they are concerned mainly with administration of the journal. How activities being administration to be done. And manuscript editors, it will improve the writing and maintain a consistent style. That is manuscript. So these are the main categories of editors at journals. Initial state by the journal done for appropriateness of subject matter, for compliance with restrictions, and for overall quality. So this is the initial scanning done for the journal. Peer reviews, yes. There are certain peer reviews, which is evaluation by the experts in the field. The purpose are basically two. First, to help the editor decide whether to publish the paper. Number one. Secondly, to help the authors improve these papers, whether or not the journals accept it. So these two are the basic purpose in a peer review journals. What are the editor's decisions? Editor's decision. Based on the peer reviewer's advice, editors have their own evaluation and the amount of space in the journals, other factors, because you know why it is talking about the amount of space in the journal, because maximum 6 pages are given free for if you are going for a, that is IEP journal officer, Taylor and Francis, etc. Then after that it starts getting paid, but up to free, that you should know that up to what pages you are getting total free of cost to be published. That's why amount of space in journal is very important. Options. Accept as is, which is here, accept if suitably revised. These are the options. And reconsider if revised or reject. So these are the 4 options which may be written by the editor or for your paper before publish. Revising. Revise and resubmit promptly. Indicate what revisions were made. Then, or if any changes, tag changes, request deletions, address, etc. Some revision is there required, it has to be done. And if you disagree with a requested revision, explain in your letter the reasons for it. Then try to go for a different way to solve the problem. Answering queries. Questions from manuscript editor, some topics of queries, which are inconsistency, missing information, ambiguity, and maybe others also. These topic of queries may lead to rejection of the papers. And the advice is respond promptly, politely, and completely, yet concisely. Reviewing proofs, if you go, proofs, typeset material, check, review the proofs promptly. Some things to be checked: completeness, presence of all components, accuracy, absence of typographical errors in text and references, placement of figures and tables, quality of reproduction of figures, and this is still not the time to rewrite the paper. Now, if we come to publish and presenting of a scientific papers. Now, this was previously in general, whether you are going to publish a paper for a non-scientific or scientific or a social science or a management paper, that was quite general instructions what I have told. But now I'm going to tell you publishing and presenting scientific papers. For example, this as an introductory part, if you say Charles Darwin, what he said, the naturalist life would be happy one if he had only to observe and never to write. This is what Charles Darwin said. Okay. Now, but in science, if you say no matter how spectacular that results are, but it's not completed until results are published. Therefore, results ought to be published in a reputed journal. That is the importance of getting results. After getting results also, it has to be published. You have to store the main steps from rough manuscript to published paper. What are the contents? Basically the contents. Take from an idea, go by the rules to the published paper. If you go for kinds of scientific written communication, scientific writing in general, you should follow the IMRAD format, which I told you just previously. Paper organization, that also I narrated, paper writing, submission, and editing process, proofreading, and pointers to the data. Now, for a scientific paper, written communication, what are there? First is reports, thesis or dissertations is there, journal articles, books and books chapters, technical manuals, research or grant proposals, slide presentations, posters. If you go for scientific writing in general, it is subject, purpose. What is the purpose? To exchange the scientific knowledge and to ask and answer specific questions. Also, for the audience, scientists and those interested in the subject and a publisher or an editor. This is regarding audience. Comrade, same which I had told you, same format is to be followed for scientific communication as well. Other types of journal papers that will go for review, technical notes, letter to the editors, state of art, examples of different types of articles including technical notes. If you see the website here on this, you will get this, other different types of journal papers. Please, the important site which you see here on the screen, that is important, you can go. But if you go for scientific journal writing, please say writer, along with writers, there will be co-writers, journal editor, it will be referees, and again there will be readers for the same. If you go for paper organization, introduction, call attention to the specific subject, define the problem. Number one, how to organize a paper. Number one, call attention to specific subject, and then define the problem. Number two, provide background and present the results of other studies. That is, three, list the structure of your research project and what you plan to present in your paper. Now, methods. What are the methods of paper organization? Number one, complete information on materials and methods used, conditions present, action, experimental design special. These are the methods used. This section also has subheadings, then possible match that those will be used for results. Three, enough information must be given so that models or experiments can be reproduced. And ask any colleague if he or she can follow that methodology. Ask just you have to inquire with your colleagues if they also want to proceed on the same lines. Coming to results, display of data with logical development showing how your findings satisfy your objectives. Number one. Number two, where possible, give illustrative examples and compare them with known results with literature, use tables and figures, and the fool collects the facts, the wise man selects them, was told by J.W. Powell, 1888. Please say, fools collect the facts, wise man selects them. Getting? This was narrated by J.W. Powell in 1888. That is regarding the paper organization. Next, discussion. The hardest section to write. Discussion portion of a work. We discuss with just repeating the results. If the results prove whatever you wanted to prove, that repeated results are pointing toward the same, that is hypothesis what you had narrated earlier. Show relations among observed facts. And conclusion summary, state your conclusions as clearly as possible. Number one. Number two, summarize evidence for each conclusion. And last, end with a short statement regarding significance of your work. And if you come to literature review revisited, literature review, you have to explore ideas on your subject. Gaps in research on a subject of interest and existence of any duplication to that you have to see, because duplication of value to be avoided. That is, there is no place in research for any duplication of the work. So that literature review has to be done. So that is the most important. Conducting specific research manually in the library or online searching and keep up to date with the specific subject. That is very important from the literature report. Coming to next, you have to a rough draft. For example, a rough draft. Feel just simple. You can think. Do you want to have co-authors? Number one. Number two, which journal you are to submit your manuscript? Just a rough draft. Number three, how soon it will be published or how to deal with editors. This is a rough draft will come to your mind. And journals and publishers. What are the professional societies? What are the professional publishers? So professional societies, that is AAG, American Association of Geographers, AGU, American Geographical Union, ORISA, Urban and Regional Information System Association, ESA, Ecological Society of America, AFS, Asian Fish Society, and many others, IEEE, okay, IST. There's a long list, professional societies. Similarly, professional publishers, first Elsevier, Pergamon Press, Springer Verlag, J. Willey and Sons, Luer Academic Publishing, Blackwell, Taylor Francis, Academic Press. These are some of the journals and publishers shown for you. Where to submit manuscript? Now, you should know what is the prestige factor, what is the circulation factor, what is the frequency factor, what is the audience factor, and what is the publisher's practice, or that is libraries, will they have access to the journal for reasonable price? So all these factors are to be submitted, seen, and then submitted the manuscript. Some journal citation reports will appear on the, if you see this, that is jcrweb.com, the citation reports are seen like this, just it has been shown for your reading reference. Paper writing. Writing a rough outline first. Fill it in, rough draft is ready, then select the journal and instructions. Authors. Requirements, write the final manuscript, right? Or define your abstract. Carefully choose words which are very important in research. Increases success with e-database and search engines. Final draft. Front matter, what is that? Article body is that? And the matter. Front matter. Title. Fewest possible work that describe the contents, authors, co-authors, names, and address, abstract, main version of the paper, citations, keyword. This is the front matter. Coming to article body, in red, introduction, methods, results, and discussion, and the matter, acknowledgement that is technical help and financial assistance, references, and note as style guides, or your appendixes. If you see the abstracts, if you're going for the abstract, there is how many types? If you see the abstract, there are descriptive abstract, informative abstract, extended abstracts. Now, and everywhere keywords are important. If you see the extended abstract, that is one, it is referred in conference proceedings. If you see informative abstract, it is self-explanatory report on a scientific investigation. That is research objective for conducting the investigation, the basic method used, and results and significant conclusions, which is approx 200 to 250 words. If you go for descriptive abstract, it is our top, that is topical abstract, topics describe the content but contains too little substance and details. So these are the three different types of abstract which you are seeing. Citations are references. For a better credibility, if you have, review the literature first and show your contribution extends from a solid foundation of research. Quality and quantity of the resources that you have consulted will enhance your work. So these two things, parameters are important, quality and quantity of source which we have consulted, because then it will be authentic, The more and more you say, the more authentic it is. You may make it possible for readers to retrace your steps. Your references can be as valuable as your research methods and findings. You also can check for the author sections as well. Now, if you see citations, for example, you can see references. This is just an example which has been shown to you just for a reference. Now, ethics. Ethics of scientific writing is very important. Ethics is important everywhere. Yes. That also, and ethics important in writing research also. Avoid dual publication. No, should not be there. Don't use the work of others without appropriate attributions. List only those authors who contributed substantially to the work, and please reject other authors who have not contributed to the work. So this is the ethics we should follow it. Final submission. In-house reviews. What in-house reviews required? That we have to, which is to be checked out. Submit the paper to the journal's editor only to one journal, not to more than one journal. It's only one journal. Hard copy of manuscript, usually 2 or 3 copies. This conversation versions can be there, and e-journal submission can also be there. After that comes the editing part, editing process. That editors logs a manuscript and sends an acknowledgement that paper has been received. That you will get it. Editors also send the manuscript to reviewers. On basis of the reviews and editor's opinion, your paper will be accepted, or conditionally accepted, or rejected. These are the 3 things: accepted, conditionally accepted, or rejected. There are checklists for references, which is given by them. This is the proofreading and return to the editor, copyright transfer of print orders. If we come to copyright statement from journals, copyright, be sure to read thoroughly. Number 1, you can go for read the UMI, that is microfilm statements. Make sure that you agree with the points, and will you be free to send or post to web the final PDF? That is the copyright statement which is to be considered from the journal. Bibliography that you have seen, which can be referred to, and these books. Also, there are certain journals which can be published in open access. Open access. Everyone, everywhere can read, redistribute, and reuse your research without cost. So this is open access. Number 2, including colleagues, policy makers, journalists, and next generation of researchers. You can go for this. Open access does not tell you, it will not tell you about scope of the journal, what quality of the journal, or review process of the journal, and whether publishing organization is profit or non-profit. This you will not get from a open access system. If you go for International Editorial Board, then 1/3 of editorial board is based outside in North America and Europe. Please see the data here. Most important figure which you are seeing on the screen here. 1/3, 1/3 of editorial board is based outside in North America and Europe. Number 2, those editors represent over 30 different countries. This survey is saying a big survey has been done, and after that this figure has come. An active recruitment of editors from other countries. So this is the International Editorial Board, that is the graph which is depicting in this. What is the roadmap? Preparation. You have to go prepared. Selling yourself, structure, and the effective writing. Then you can get it published. Right now, I am discussing participants how to go ahead before getting published. So preparation, selling yourself, structure, and effective writing. Preparation. Think what you are taught to think before you put them to paper. Selling yourself is what? How to capture an editor's attention. Then structure. Without a clear structure, you will end nowhere. And effective writing, yes, writing is a art, and there are some simple rules that you can see it can make a huge difference. So what I want to say, if editors cannot work out your single take-home message, they will reject your paper. Point one, very important. First point, very important. If editor is seeing your work, then out of your single take-home message, if you are not able to communicate, then a simple take-home message, they will straightaway reject your paper. Number two, they will also reject your paper if you have not convinced them of your study's importance. You might have done so much research, you might have worked day and night on your paper, but you are not able to tell them how important it is. Your paper is not going to be published. So this is my ultimate two message. First message, that is, you have to give to the editor your single take-home message, that is to the editor. And number two, you have to show that work is quality, and that is important from societal point of view, globally, nationally, and that work, why it is important, that should be well narrated. Where will the paper end up? Audience. You must choose a journal and write for that journal's audience. That you have to make sure that journal publishes your type of study. What does this audience already know about this topic, and they want to know now? That has to be reviewed, and you read the author guidelines specific for the journals which you are submitting to. Now, how to go for writing a paper. First step, number one, degree of urgency, that is editorial pride. Degree of urgency. So that is in technical terms is known as editorial pride. What is the criteria? Is the scope within our journal's interest? Number one, does this article have a clear message? Number two, number three, is it original? Number four, is it important? Then is it true? And is it relevant to our readers? So you have to sell yourself to get to this idea. Let's say this important points. What are the criteria? That degree of urgency you ought to show as a editorial branch. Next, what is the first thing an editor looks at? First thing that editor is looking for. The cover letter is very crucial because we will see afterward. First is the cover letter. So don't waste the opportunity to sell your work. Number one, what the editor thinks as the editors looks at. What is the first thing the editor looks at? Please come, see. Don't waste the opportunity to sell your work. Don't write something dull or derivative. Please consider the manuscript for publication in your esteemed journal. Do tell to the editor why they should take your work seriously. So these first two things you don't do, and secondly, you tell to the editor why your work is important. That is important. Pre-submission inquiry. It will save time. If you are sure about the suitability of your research for journal's interest, and evaluation based on your abstract. Before sending evaluation of the abstract. The title makes it compelling, concise and informative. Should contain that it related to the, that is most important, words related to topic. Emphasize the reader without giving away the punchline, and it should not overly be sensationalized, or some journals now insist on including information study designs. If you see the abstract, many journals now base their decisions on the abstract alone, but many authors write abstract in a great rush. They are in a great hurry. So it should be concise, standalone piece with a very clear message. It must accurately reflect the full text of the paper. And why did you do the study? What did you do? What did you find? What did you conclude? All should come into the abstract. Abstract writing tips. Many students and researchers use search engines to look information. Yes, we are all in habit of it. So in some search engines, title of our article is the most interesting. Reiterate keywords or phrases from title in your abstract. And best to focus on maximum 2 to 4 different keywords in the abstract. That I told you. Again, the same thing. No introduction. That has been told to you. So, some tips. Why your research was needed? You should tell to the reader why your research is needed. Why does it matter to engineers, policymakers, or researchers? Were there any controversies you are trying to address? What did you do that was new or innovative without giving any results or conclusion? Very important. That is, what is the new? What is the innovativeness? What is the innovativeness? That's more important. That is, you have to tell to the reader what is going on. Right? Now, you have to go for good practice points. Opening sentence takes you to straight to the issue. It will contain most important details of the issue. It will contain a brief summary of the controversies and the best evidence. It will end in crisp and clear research questions. And keep with the rules of good writing and be written using active rather than passive tense. Please note, write in active tense rather than passive. That will have more impact. If you see the method, crucial in the tri-age process, I told you the dire urgency to be reflected. Extremely common for editors to direct a paper because authors use wrong method to answer the question. Method should be right. Give enough detail so that a qualified reader could repeat the study. If your method section is thin or details, editors worry that you are hiding something. They should not feel that you are hiding something. Everything has been displayed, everything is clear, open. That should be there. If the methods, quantitative studies, editor while seeing the paper will focus on 6 things: design, sample, intervention, outcome measures, data analysis, ethics, informed consent, and your IRB approval. Right? So, if you see design, state clearly the design used. Observational, whether it is observational or interventional. Prospective, retrospective. Controlled, uncontrolled. If controlled, randomized or not. For randomized control studies, exactly how randomization was done. What was the input of randomization? Was it a cohort study, cross-sectional survey, or case control study? Now, for example, if you go for some biological samples, how did you choose them? Then you sample size, or how did you pick the participant? How did you show that sample was originally the population? What measures did you use? And what were the inclusions and exclusion criteria? Intervention. Just tell the intervention when you studied and what happened to the control group. What measures did you take to blind participants to use good level? Good. One can be shown the groups have occurred. So these intervention parameters can be seen. Outcome measures. Which outcomes did you decide to measure when you designed your study? Specify your primary outcomes, secondary outcomes. Did you use a validated tool to measure this? And what steps did you use to reduce bias in recording of the outcomes? Data analysis. What statistical method did you use to analyze your data? Ethical considerations that I've already told. The informed consent from the IRB approval has to be there. That is institutional review board approvals. So papers have to be reviewed for ethical considerations before publishing. Methods, qualitative studies. You have to say whether it was a qualitative approach appropriate or not, qualitative or quantitative. How were the settings and subjects selected? Have the authors being explicit about their own views on the issue? What method did the researchers use for collecting data? What method did researcher use to analyze data and quality control measures were implemented? Figures and tables, of course. Results, facts and nothing, but only the facts, which should be proved by tables and figures and duplicate information in text and tables. Discuss. Last discussion, don't write an expensive essay. What you found? Discussion only on the main topics. Discuss both your strength and weakness. Both you have to discuss. That's the in-depth efficacy. Relate your study to what has been already found, or discuss what your study means, or your unanswered questions. Another question means, what did research not address? That you should write. What has not been done, what research not do, which can be done in the future, or avoid using the things more research is needed. So, why these unanswered questions should also be there. These all discussions should be in there. Yeah, that is there. Okay. So, next, if you see, avoiding a long, rambling discussion selection. First paragraph, subsequent paragraph, last paragraph. If you see the first paragraph, 2 points will be there: interpretation and answer based on findings. Supporting evidence. Subsequent paragraph, compare contrast to previous studies, strength and weakness, unexpected findings, hypothesis. This is subsequent paragraph. And when we come to last paragraph, that is coming summary, significance, answer questions. Right? Extras, if you see, you have to see reference, acknowledgements, other contributions, competing interest, fundings, statement regarding ethics, committing approval. What are the basic rules of writing? Writing rules. Avoid long words, long sentences, passive tenses. Just avoid. 1 or 2 complex ideas max in 1 sentence. Short sentences. Cut out unnecessary adjectives. Avoid jargons. Avoid double negatives. So these all to be done. And you have to clearly write the techniques. That is, signal research questions. Keep the consistent order. Repeat key forms. Keep a content point of view. And put parallel ideas in a parallel form. Use topic sentences with the transitions and the key terms. Signal the question. Let the reader know that is what is being addressed. Set up an expectations. Use explicit phrases. Use questions, words, whether which is stated and then identified. You can keep a consistent order. That is, ideas must be well organized. Paragraph captures only one topic. Sentence has just one idea, and paragraph structure, if you see the first sentence, it captures the main message. Topic sentence will be followed by supporting sentences. Explicit relationship must exist between sentences, and explicit relations must exist between paragraphs and between sections. Also, topic sentences with transitions and key terms. It uses a global topic sentence at the beginning of each section. Use another topic sentence at the beginning of each paragraphs. And use transition words that contain key terms in your topic sentences. If you're setting aside time to write, it can be a major challenge to find time to write. Most professional writers recommend it. Okay. So, you see next, what should you start writing first? It goes with the method, figures, research, that is intro and text. Reviewers will request revisions. Yes, they will request revision. How to respond? First, you have to go for incorporate reviewer suggestions into your revised manuscript. Number 2, address all reviewers' concerns in the letter. And third, address the letter to the editors. These 2 things you can go. The paper is rejected. Okay, if you generally think that your paper is rejected, then you need not worry that your research was important. You have to generally tell to the editor, you have to prove to the editor that your research was important, well done, well written, and deserves to reach the journal's audience. You can write an appeal letter to the editor in that case. Bottom line, you will get it published if you picked an important research question, most important research question. Number 2, you use the right method to answer. Number 3, you wrote very short, clear account of the study that followed that is tight structures and used effective writing to cover your message clearly. And keep in mind that science has become more cross-disciplinary, but reviewers have not. Again, I repeat, science has become more cross-disciplinary. That is one branch of study with another, and that is interdisciplinary in nature. But reviewers have not become so. Coming to next, how editorial office can help you. If editorial office is there, how they can help you? They can help you in trial registration, they can help you in data deposition, they can help you in reporting guidelines, in ethical approval, data availability, competing interest, financial disclosures, and permissions. What do we ask reviewers to check? What we ask the reviewers: methods, techniques, concepts, statistics, presentations, conclusions, ethics. Some of these which I already discussed previously also. After publication, understanding the impact factor, where the journal is being published. Yes. Citations, what and where better alternatives. This, you have to understand it. If you take example of Copernicus, example I'm taking Copernicus, then we can go for Scopus, and as we can see, Copernicus was founded in 1988 by scientists, which was non-profit society. Scientific Conferences organization in 1988. Journal publisher was in 1994. Okay, in 2018, to say 5,757 journal articles were there. 3,850 discussion papers were there. More than 2,000 editors and more than 10,000 referees and 28,555 authors. This is Copernicus at a glance. So 56 staff members were there in Germany, and co-founder of PPCA, member of ORCID, member of. Now, if you see the past year of Copernicus, I've taken example Copernicus in 2019. 42 peer-reviewed journals were there, 21 journals with interactive public peer review. 33 journals were in geoscience, 9 journals in engineering, life science, and social science. And collaboration with 17 associations were there and institutions. 38 journals has been owned by them. And there is waivers available, central APC payment schemes with 28 institutions. This is the metrics, journal metrics, article level metrics. If you see the journal metrics, if you see of this Copernicus, clavariate analytics, that is journal factor for 5 years. How it is calculated, I will be coming to it. Journal impact factor, Scopus, Citescore. If you see SNIP, percentage self-citations, SJR, article level metrics, Ultimatic.com, Locoto, cross-debate data, impact story, and Plum Analytics. If you see journal impact factor, how it is calculated, we see JIF, journal impact factor. Very important for appointments, tenure, promotions, and grants. If you say here, that is, you found it out, that is, what is your citations in the previous 2017, okay, we published till that is 2015 and plus 2016 if you see, and divided by total number which was citation was done in 2015 plus 2016. So when you do division of these two data, then you get the GIF journal impact factor, which here it is coming for couple, it is 8.792, which you are seeing on the screen here, 8.792 you see. Okay, now based on this database, it does not tell anything about individual articles, highly by citation to individual articles, not entirely transparent, not comparable across disciplines. So this is how journal impact factor is calculated. Citescore. It is new metrics by Scopus. No subscription made to access values. Similar to impact factor, but larger citation will be based on proprietary database. Not comparable across disciplines. Okay. SNIP. SNIP. That is Source-Normalized impact per paper. This is SNIP which is being used. CWPA Journals Indicator, that is Center for Science and Technology Studies, data for Scopus, number of citations given in the present year to publication in the past 3 years. If you divide it by total number of publications in the past 3 years, that is how we get it, and use a source-normalized approach to connect for differences in citation practices between scientific fields. Not widely used, of course. That is SNIP, stands for Source-Normalized Impact Per Paper. If you go for article level metrics, then you say initially based on PLOS, PLOS, that is Public Library of Science, API, that is Application Programming Interface, that is article level metrics. Now, own harvesting of data sources, categories viewed in various, you are seeing cited across, Crossref, Google Scholar, saved in, Site You Like, Mendeley, discussed with Reddit, Facebook, Wikipedia, WordPress, so on. So this was article level metrics. Topics covered: why access scholarly impact of research, overviews of metrics and tools. What are the three metrics? Journal metrics, article metrics, author metrics. What are the ultra metrics? Then current uses and future considerations. What are we talking about? We talk about impact. What is the impact? Extent to which research is read or discussed or used and disseminated inside and outside academia. That is what we are talking about, impact. That is the impact. Extent to which research is read, discussed, used, and disseminated. Okay. Why we measure? For promotion in tenure, better research quality, action for grant funding, job market, group productivity, and anything else. What are we measuring? Trying to measure general quality, article impact, dissemination, and researcher impact. How we are measuring it? As I told you, general level metrics, article level metrics, author level metrics, and metrics. These are the measuring parameters. If you go for general level metrics, it measures quality of journal using citation formulas. Article level metrics, it is citation based on item metrics. Author level metrics, it is measured bibliography. That is bibliographic impact of individual authors. And item metrics measures and monitors reach and impact of research through online interactions. Right? Now, if you go for journal level metrics, then most journal level metrics are calculated from the pool of journals indexed in two citation indexing database. Number one, Web of Science, WOS, which is known as Clarivate Analytics, and number two, Scopus or Elsevier. If you go for WOS, Web of Science, that is over 11,549 journals from the Science Citation Index, expanded SCIE and SSCI Social Science Citation Index. This library has a subscription to Web of Science, does not include access to JCR, that is Journal Citation Reports. This is Web of Science Clarivate Analytics. If you go for Scopus Elsevier, it covers 22,000 titles in scientific, 22,000 titles, note place, titles 22,000 in scientific, technical, medical, and social science, including arts, humanities. Library does not have a subscription to Scopus Journal Metrics, which are freely available. General impact factor, which I told you just previously, it is most influential, especially influential in STEM disciplines. And GIF is a measure of frequency with which average articles published in a given scholarly journal has been cited in a particular year or a period. GIF is not normalized for this link, and it can be quartile position of title in category, maybe Q1, Q2, Q3, this is the quartile position. 5 fair indicators are also available, and this GIF can be found independently of journal citation reports, usually on the journal homepage. If you see between eigenfactor, participant eigenfactor and article influence. Eigenfactor project is sponsored by West Lab at Information School and Buckstrom Lab in the Department of, if you see, medical, that is biology at the University of Washington. It uses information from entire citation network to measure importance of each journal, much as Google's PageRank algorithm measures the importance of a website on the World Wide Web, www. And you can find other metrics at eigenfactor.org. Scopus-based matrix. If you see Scopus-based matrix, it is Citescore, Elsevier, calculates every number of citations received in a calendar year. By all items of it, that number in the years. Also, Citescore counts all documents since they all have potential to track citations and impact the ground. Documents considered most happy to track citations. Citescore is independent of the document type classification. You can also see this website. Website is Citescore journalmetrics.scopus.com. And Scopus-based matrix. Again, as I told you, SNIP, source-normalized impact per paper. It is defined as the ratio of the raw impact per application divided by the relative database citation potential. That is SNIP. What does it do? It corrects for subject-specific characteristics of field someone is publishing in so many, any two journals can be compared. And that can be found on this www.journalindicator.com, that is SNIP. If we go to SJR indicator, SCImago, SJR indicator, citations are weighted depending on the rank of the citing journal. A citation from an important journal will count as more than one citation. A citation coming from a less important journal will count as less than one citation. And this you can find on www.SCImago.com. That is Scopus-based matrix. If you come further after this, article level metrics. Article level. So citation based on alternative measures can show impact of individual research, that is publication. How many times was an article cited? How is tracking in social media? What is the geographic distribution of citing papers? What is the disciplinary distribution of citing papers? What is the impact of the scholarly community? Web of Science citation, if you see, science citation, that is cultivation of spawn cells and symbionts. For example, I have taken, I'm showing this example, Web of Science citation, right? Google Scholar, if you come, it is useful for authors and publications in disciplines less well covered by commercial services. Authors search in Google Scholar will produce a list of publications, this citation, and a link to this Google Scholar file. Indexes varied content, that is pro or con. Includes useful cited by literature such as policies and on that inflate citation count. So this is in Google Scholar. For example, I am showing you this Google Scholar author search. Author matrix, if you come to author matrix, H index is the best known. That is, if you attempt to measure both productivity and impact of the published work, that is both productivity and impact. A scientist has an index H if her NP papers has at least S citations each and other NPH papers have no more than S citations each. You have a H index of 5. This is a very simple thing you must know. H index. If you want in your paper H index to have 5, an author has to have 5 publications, each receiving at least 5 citations. Very important. H index. If 5 H index indicates author has to have 5 publications and each receiving at least 5 citations, then you have a H index of 5. Most important is note participants. Variants include G index, M index. They account for highly cited paper or author carrier span. If next to come, that is where to find H index. Where to find? Value of index may vary depending on the source of information, number of index publication, time span. Web of Science, Google Scholar, publish or perish. Web of Science, to identify all publications by author, can use author analyze search function or enter author's article or researcher ID identifier. You can go in Google Scholar, request creation of Google Scholar profile before providing matrix. H index tends to be higher than what is calculated by Web of Science. And publish or page freely accessible software program. Uses Scholar, Scholar data, and includes H index, G index, M index, other metrics, so on. Alter metrics. It expands our views of what impact looks like. but also of what is making the impact. This matters because expressional scholarships are becoming more diverse. You can see this side. Similarly, altmetrics are metrics beyond traditional citations. If we are going beyond traditional citations, then we are going for altmetrics. And what altmetrics address? How many times something is downloaded? Who is reading the work? How has it been covered by new outlet? Who is commenting on the work? How is it being shared? Which countries are looking at my work? This is found in this site, which was saying pitt.libguides.com/altmetrics/introduction. That is in the University of Pittsburgh library system to see. How to write a world-class paper. World-class paper, world-class. How to write. From title to references. Of course, some I have given you, some already I have told you earlier, but in order to have a quality #1 world-class paper. Why to publish? I'm going ahead fast because we've already seen it. What is important? Citation, impact factor, role of editors, step-by-step publishing guideline, copyright ethics, and questions. Agenda. Why scientific publishing? That is, destination to say, timestamp to obviously know who submitted scientific. First, that's the point. Certification. That's performed peer review to ensure validity and your submissions. Dissemination. It will provide a medium for discussion and to be shared. Preservation. That is preserving the minutes and record of science for posterity. That is good. If you go Elsevier and publishing, Elsevier, that is 7,000 editors, 70,000 editorial board members, 7 million authors. This is, and 9.8 billion articles now available. 40 to 90% of articles are rejected. Please make a note of it. And 5 lakhs reviewers, say more than 6 lakhs authors, 2,000 journals, 19,000 books, 2,000 new books per year. And if you see production, 45,000, 4,50,000 new articles produced each year. 4,50,000. 185 years back of issue scanned, processed and data. I'm talking of Elsevier. Very important Elsevier. 30 million researchers, 180 plus countries, 480 million plus downloads per year. This is regarding publish and disseminate, archive and promote use. So please say 7 million author per publisher publication per year. This is the Elsevier. If you say solicit and manage and submissions, manage peer review, edit and prepare, production, publish and disseminate, archive and promote use. See the data. See that is the height of the data which we are seeing in this particular slide. The particular slide is most important. That is Elsevier and publishing. If you come next, publishing speed. For authors looking to publish their research, the time an article takes to go through the publishing process is one of the most important considerations in selecting a journal. If you see, submission to acceptance weeks 22.6, submission to first online weeks 31.4, submission to print weeks 47.3, and many journals have introduced a fast rejection process by the journal editor. If you see how. Impact factor. Established journal measure. Impact factor, that is average annual number of citations per article published. For example, to say that is number of citations per article published. If you see 2000 impact factor, then it is A by B. What is A? Number of times articles published in 2001 and 2002. The second factor 2023. What is B? Number of citable items, that is not editorial subject to enter published in 2002. And 2003 impact factor will be A by B. Then if you write this A and B term, that comes O. That is impact factor in established measure. Okay. If you go next, even prestigious journal publishes many non-cited articles. Many non-cited articles. Not all articles in high impact journals. Example, about 20% in Asia. Impact factor have got 32.2 are cited. It is that please see here. And different measures may show different fields. So researchers in life science tend to publish more often and sooner than those in mathematics. Please see the data which you are seeing here. That is, your researchers in life sciences are tending to publish more often than those in mathematics are less, and life sciences are more. SCR and SNIP, no journal metrics. SGI journal rank. SGR is a measure of the scientific prestige of the scholarly value. Sources, that is value of weighted citations per document, as you say, a source transfer its own prestige or status to another source through act of citing it. Okay. SNIP, which I already said, that measures contextual citation impact by weighing citations based on total number of citations in the field. This is what the S index is say. Dr. George E. Hirsch, University of San Diego, is that current metrics such as impact factor and immediacy index are based on journal evaluation, whereas H index counts for researchers' body of work without the influence of other factors. That is what H index says. That determines the level of your achievement, that is the H index, which was given by Dr. George E. Hirsch, University of San Diego. Okay, so current metrics too, that is impact factor and immediacy index, which are based on journal evaluation, the evaluation of the journal, that account for researcher's body of work and does not have influence on others. H index, a scholar with an index of H has published H papers, as I told you, that is cited 20 times more. 20 papers cited 20 times more. So a scholar has a index of H published papers, each may cited others at least H times. H index. Quick guide to metrics. Year 1, Year 5, Year 10. Year 1, researchers have not published yet examination results. Number 2, Year 5, researcher has published peer review work. Year 10, researcher has achieved research independence. If you go for review your research area, pearl growing in Scopus, if you say, review the development of your research. That area, it can be seen. Find out topics which are hot. Why publish? Publishing is one of the necessary steps embedded in the scientific research process that you know without it is published, it is not complete. And we should not publish reports of no scientific interest, work out of date, duplication of previously published work, incorrect, not to conclusion. This you should not. You should need a good manuscript to present your contribution to the scientific community. But paper is worthless if no one reads or uses or cites. A research study is meaningful only if it's clearly described. Someone else can use it. It allows other scientific interest, allows others to produce results. And something in manuscript, you are basically trying to sell your work to something else. Next, what makes a good manuscript? Containing a scientific message that's clear, useful, and exciting. Conveys the author's thoughts in a logical manner, so that the right as author, and it is constructed in the format that best showcases the author's material and written in a style that transmits the message clearly. That content is very, very essential. What makes a good manuscript? Good manuscript makes reader is not easy. Be yeah. Please, I'm here now. We are here now. Decide. Yeah. Again, I come here. We have to decide on the type of manuscript. Full articles, that is full articles, letters, review papers, self-evaluative work, ask your supervisor and your colleagues. Okay, please. Next. If you see, you have to identify the right audience for a paper. Who are the right audience for a paper? Choose a target journal. Choose the right journal. Only submit once. You're referee. Okay? Each candidate journals, peer-reviewed journals in audit, how long it will take to see your articles in print, and is there a prestigious journal, what is the impact factor? all these things to enter. You have to choose the target journal. You have to find out about what target journal. Is this a prestigious journal? You have to check up and you have to read the guidance. Please say whether it is a prestigious journal that you have to see. Other tools of journal evaluation has become available in Scopus that can be very well seen. And read the guide for authors of target journals. Okay, editors and reviewers. Most submission is just for authors, editors and reviewers. Most prestigious resource of any journal. So that is also there. An international editor says following problem appear much too frequently. Submission of papers which are clearly out of scope. Failure to format the paper according to guide for authors. Inappropriate suggested answer reviewers. Inadequate response to reviewers. Inadequate standard of English. Resubmission of each rejected manuscript without revision. That all headed editor journal of Kottayam has said. General structure of full article. Title, authors, abstract, that is keywords, then main text, introduction, methods, results and discussion, acknowledgement, references, and those supplementary materials. Now, that is some special technical aspects of the manuscript. Length of the manuscript, 25 to 30 pages, the ideal length for a submitted manuscript. That is title page, abstract, introduction, method, results, conclusion, figures, tables, right? Letter or short communications have stricter limitations to the length. For example, 3,000 words with no more than 5 illustrations. This all should be considered. Language, clear for editors and reviewers. Okay. Now, language, seek clarity, objectivity, accuracy, brevity. Make your writing that is scientific. Pay attention to common problems. What are common problems? Consistency, logic of expression, accuracy of grammar, spelling mistakes, and this. So that has to be seen. Language, short sentences. Don't use long, short. Write direct and short sentences. That is, look more professional. Nowadays, average length of sentences is 12 to 17 words. Very simple. Language, grammar, spellings that you should avoid. You simply avoid. Inappropriate use of passive voice. Passive voice you avoid. Bad structures with wrongly used conjunctive words or dangling modifiers are to be avoided. Title. What is the paper broadly about? Attract readers' attention, informative, concise, and avoid jargons. Abbreviations if possible. You have to see readership as large as possible. Delete trivial phrases from them. Number 2, abstract. Tell prospective readers what you did, what are the important feelings. So all these things should be in brief. Keywords mainly used for indexing and searching. It is a level of the manuscript. Only abbreviations forms established in the field are eligible. And check the guide for the authors. 4th one. Introduction to convince reader that you clearly know why your work is useful, that you have to explain. What is the problem? What do you hope to achieve? Provide perspective consistent with the nature of the journal. Never use more words than necessary. Do not mix with introduction with results, discussion, and conclusion. Introduce the main scientific publication. Avoid too many references relevant to the work. Method. How was the problem studied? Right? So, results. What have you found? What have you found? Appearance counts. Uncrowded plots, if you see. These all appearances, results should be in either tabulated form or in, that is, graph form. Like this, or colored, maybe colored. So this makes the results very clear. Discussion. What the results mean? Here you get the cell to choice to sell your data, chance to sell your data. Make discussion corresponding to result. You need to compare the publications with yours. Right? Discussion. Watch for the following. Statement that go beyond what results can support. Unspecific expressions. That is danger. That part is the danger. You will not go there. Okay? Then sudden introduction of new terms or ideas and speculations on possible interpretations which are allowed. 8. Conclusion. How work advances the field from the present state of knowledge. Without clear conclusions, reviewers and readers will find it difficult to judge the work and whether or not it merits publication in the journal. That is how work advances the words from the present state of knowledge. And you have to provide a clear scientific justification for your work. Number 2, do not repeat abstract or just repeat experimental results. Now, cover letter, your chance to speak to the editor directly. View it as a job application letter. You want to sell your work. Yes. Why did you submit the to the subjournal? Do not summarize your message with all the abstract. So, your cover letter may accelerate editorial process. Suggest potential reviewers. Those suggestions will help editor to pass your manuscript to the review stage more efficiently. You can easily find potential reviewers and contact them by mentioning author from articles in a specific subject area. Reviews should represent at least 2 regions of work. And generally, you are requested to provide 3 to 6 potential reviews. Peer review research, example sourcing, copyright issues in publishing are there, ethics issues which we have discussed. There may be scientific misconduct, fabrication, making up data or results and recording or reporting them, falsification of results, publication misconduct, plagiarism, duplicate submissions, duplicate publications, no acknowledgement of prior research, no identification of all co-authors. This is ethics issues in publishing. Again, please see, ethics issues in publishing. We should refrain from doing all these things. We should not be there. This publication misconduct, this should not be there. Please note it. Most important, very important. If you go next, publish and perish. If you break ethics rules, you publish and you perish, you are gone. International scientific ethics have evolved over centuries, right? So please do not do this. Please do not do this if you go. Okay. Now, if you go next, plagiarism, templating, shortcut with long-term consequences, plagiarism should not be there, and retracted. Multiple submission, sending subscript to more than 1 journal at a time. It should not be there. Okay. If you see duplicate publications, it should not be there. If you, that is duplicate 2 or more papers without cross conferences should not be there. Research metrics is the quantitative analysis of scientific and scholarly research output. Research metrics include various variety of measures, and research metrics measure impact and provide insights. Research metrics measures journal metrics 4, total 4. Journal metrics, author metrics, article metrics, and metrics, which are discussed already discussed. Research metrics, these metrics can be support applications by schedule to maintain. Issues to consider: citation count, no single source comprehensive, publication dates, frequency of journal, highly cited articles, and research measures, right? And research metrics, general impact factor, report, H index report, I-10 index also there, which is the number of papers with 10 more citations. Paper introduced in July 2011, Google, I-10 index, GIF, general impact factor, H index, already discussed, I-10, that is introduced in July 2011 by Google. General impact factor, which I have seen, yes, GIF. Suppose we are finding out that is 100, citing references are appearing in 2010, and total number of articles published, if you divide it, you get that is GIF, General Impact Factor. These are the references, growing list, bibliography, more makes, and more makes. Questions? Thanks. Any questions and any thanks, please. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that amazing informative session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
attendees, if you have any questions, do write to us in the chat box. Or if you're a person watching from YouTube, you can write in the comment box and ask us.
Yes.
I hope there is no question, sir. Yeah, sure.
Because everything has been cleared. Everything is clear.
Yes, yes. It was very in-depth explanation, sir.
But it was time. It took, I think, how much time it took, madam? I could not see my timing.
No problem, no problem. It was actually good for us to get all the knowledge at one shot. So thank you so much. So attendees, we'll wind up with session 2, journal metrics in Scopus. So sir has covered all the part from H index, Citescore, SNIP, SCImago ranking, and everything. So thank you so much, sir, once again, and thank you to all the attendees who have joined us today. If you have any questions, do write to us at webinar@IFERP.in, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram pages. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you all once again. Good day and good evening to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.